I was a real Dylan fan in high school initially. This is the mid to late '70s, and then I really kind of listened to a lot of different kinds of music for about 20 years. I didn't stay as focused on Dylan, and then I found myself suddenly needing to hear Dylan again at the end of my 30s. I think it was ushering me into a new phase of my own life, and it kind of chaperoned a change from my life in New York, where I'd lived for 15 years, and I was actually thinking about my last film. I was going to go to Portland, Oregon, to write it, Far From Heaven, and get away from the city. My sister lived in Portland, and she knew of a place I could write, so I got in my car at the beginning of 2000 and drove across country, but all I wanted to do was listen to Dylan. And I had made all these cassette tapes for my ride of Dylan music, and it was all the old stuff. It was like a chronology from the early stuff till the latest stuff I had, which didn't even go up to his recent releases. And then I got to Portland, and I was working on Far From Heaven by night, but by day I was just collecting Dylan stuff and reading books and discovering like the whole Basement Tapes collection, and my mind got blown. And then even just getting the Columbia 3-disc bootleg series. I mean, just that is just I hadn't heard that before. I was just floored. Listened to or read all the transcripts of the 65, 66 interviews, a lot of which are used in the film. All of Arthur's scenes come from that, and the final speech of Kate in the car comes from these extraordinary, almost transcriptions of live performance art. That is what Dylan was. That he answered the questions like the lyrics from the songs he was writing at the time. It was just amazingly, but really witty, and then this great film, Eat the Document. These were all the sort of key things that got me just nuts. Eat the Document's this movie that Dylan actually edited from the 1966 footage of his live tour, his electric tour. And if anyone's seen No Direction Home, the Scorsese documentary, all that color footage of Dylan performing that year comes from Pennebaker's footage that was meant to go into this documentary. It never got released because it was so bizarre and utterly frenetic and twisted and fascinating. Just really a beautiful piece of work. I think it's the best Dylan film, that he's done, except for Don't Look Back, which he didn't direct. But of the films he was more directly involved in, it's incredible. And I found it in a video store in Portland, Oregon. And yeah, that ushered in the whole concept, and it also just changed my life. I think I was looking for that voice that registered change, positive change, and I needed it at a time in my life when I needed to change. And I ended up settling down in Portland, finished Far From Heaven, got the rights to the Dylan project, all in that first year of 2000. So it was a great year of change.